let's dive into IronSight, see our product, about how this works. Let's start with what an oil producer sees. Here, I have schedule view, which allows the energy producer to see all of their work in a calendar view. This oil producer works with 2 trucking companies to move fluid in the Permian. On the left side of schedule view, you can see your partners and their trucks. Across the top, each column is a day in my week, and this grid gives me a full picture of my week of work. Everything that's completed, ongoing, planned across all of my partners and their resources. So I'm planning work for today. And if we look at the first row in this table, it's my queue, the jobs that I need to perform. So for my first job in the morning, I want to haul produced water from a facility to a disposal. Since it's early in the day, my partner's trucks are at their yard, so I'm going to defer to their coordinators to make the dispatching decision. By dragging the job onto their company, I'm sending it into that service provider's queue. Their coordinator is going to get notified of the new job via email and make a real-time decision based on the availability of their resources. Now watch schedule here. In this case, the coordinator of a trucking company is going to assign to unit number 87. Once they make that dispatching decision, my view is automatically updated. I can see that job as soon as it moves. So keep watching in that same area. As the job is being performed, I follow along from schedule view as the driver moves from the pickup location to the destination, and I can eventually see that the job is completed. I can also follow the truck's movements from field view. Field view is a great view for getting real-time insight into what's happening in the field geographically. As a dispatcher, it's valuable knowing where my trucks are, or the trucks I have available in the field, so that I can optimize assignment. In this case, I have unit number 87 nearing the pickup location for the next job I need to schedule. So later in the afternoon, when I need to move my next load, I can assign directly to that truck, bypassing the trucking company's coordinators. So far, I've showed how schedule view and field view are powerful ways to control and monitor what's happening in the field. But I haven't really covered anything new. It's the same collaboration model that we've had for years. To see what's new, let's switch to the service provider perspective and see how things have changed. So I've pulled up a service provider schedule view, which looks very similar to what I showed for energy producers. These service providers all have access to the same view, but IronSight is secure, so these service providers see only their own resources and work that's been assigned to them. While this trucking company started out working for the oil producer I showed earlier, they want to use IronSight to manage all of their logistics, which will allow them to transition to fully digital field tickets and simplify their invoicing process. Their other customer, though, is not in IronSight. I'm going to show how this trucking company can manage work done for this other company, even when they're not in the system. When our trucking company gets a call on the phone to skim oil off a pond, they create the job on behalf of that company. The first step when creating a job is to select which customer it's for. Once they've made that selection, the fields are contextualized to that company. This makes data entry a breeze and avoids mistakes. Once I've filled out all the fields, the last step as a service provider is to make an assignment dispatching decision to the desired truck. In this case, I'll assign to unit number 87. Once the work has been created, from the driver's perspective, on the right-hand side here, there's no difference between work done between any of their customers. As you can see here, I have a job from our first oil company and a second company in schedule view. I have the same 2 jobs that are assigned to the same unit in the mobile app. The mobile app has one unified schedule that interleaves work between the 2 companies. So when the driver opens the job, they see all the information for that job, including the pickup and destination on the map. Once they've arrived at the pond to pick up, they start the job, notifying everybody involved. Note how schedule view reflects the driver's activity real time. If there are any questions while completing the work, the oil company and field workers can chat using job comments. Once the trucker arrives at the destination, they collect any required information and complete the job. Note how on schedule view, that information is immediately reflected to both the service provider and the energy producers coordinators. Sometime later, the trucking company's second customer is interested in optimizing their field operations and joins IronSight as well. So now we have two energy producers in IronSight managing their work and the service provider. The trucking company will no longer need to create all the work on behalf of that other company. Instead, jobs will come directly to trucks or be dispatched through my service provider queue. So keep an eye here for how work arrives into the queue of a service provider. That's it. So service providers also receive an email to ensure that they don't miss any requests. That's our new collaboration model. Service providers can now work for multiple customers, whether that company is in IronSight today or not.